think I saw.
Yes, he
I
was.
saw Jeremy for just a second there.
And then he got kicked out.
All right. So first of all, thank you so much for being with us. This right here is my co-host for the day. She's
Hi.
Hello. How's
Hi.
it going?
Good. How are you?
This is my daughter Zoe, and Zoe. So in part of our father-daughter time, she likes to pick shows.
I force him to watch shows.
So as soon as the came out, that was the next one that we had to binge watch, and so.
Am I?
Hey!
Jeremy!
I was trying to log in before, and then I got in, but I couldn't see or hear anyone, and I was like, "Is it not working? Did I get the wrong link?"
No, we had to fully let you in.
Oh, okay, got it.
You weren't allowed. You weren't allowed in.
You're like,
Loud.
nope, don't want him.
Okay.
How are you guys?
We're great. How are you all?
Fantastic. Just hanging.
Doing good.
Oh my gosh, my cheeks already hurt.
So
I've watched this show about 25 times already.
Oh yeah. Is that an accurate number?
Dude, that is.
Probably not. Probably not.
Like, it might be.
Well, it's very possible. She has over the summer. Over the summer, especially right after over the past 2 weeks. She said her brother said the past 2 weeks she has absorbed so much of Julie and the Phantoms that she has my son singing songs. And it's like it's contagious. So he'll be walking around singing.
I got the music back inside of me.
Yeah.
And he hasn't even seen it. He's just singing it because you're singing him so much. That's so funny. I love that.
He's seen like one episode, and not even that one.
Only one. Can you imagine? 16-year-old brother singing "I Got the Music"?
Oh,
That's
16.
awesome.
That wasn't said. That's impressive.
He's a
Thank
6-year-old.
you.
This is a 10-year-old, and the 10-year-old influenced us. Yes.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
I love this show. Oh my gosh, I love this show so much.
Show so much.
Hey, you sound like Charlie on set. That's what he sounds like. I'm not even kidding.
It sounds like a Charlie. Okay. But it's like I'll be in the middle of a classroom and I'll start singing "Flying Solo" for no absolute reason.
Is that your favorite? What's your favorite song?
Flying Solo, probably.
Yeah.
Flying Solo? Yeah, it's a good one.
It's so
Now or
catchy.
Never. That's a nice
Now or
one.
Never is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Only because as a musician, I love the fact that you guys. Well, first of all, man, we hadn't really started the interview yet. Oh, sorry. Let's just
You're good.
so that we can help our editor be able to know where to cut in and where to start. And so let's do this right. All right. So first of all, welcome. Thank you. All right. So we're gonna act like we're professional now, and so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go back and we're gonna start this properly. Okay. So did you type your names when you came in?
Yeah, I put mine as Jeremy.
Let's see, Seth. Let's identify those names. See if they show up really quickly.
I see.
Okay, awesome.
I see Owen.
Oh, you put your full name, Owen.
You
put his middle name too.
You go by 3 names, you got to type them. So
True.
you got to do that.
It's pretty epic.
Very nice.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Yes.
okay, Seth, you can drop the names out really quickly. I just wanted to make sure that they were there so you can pop them in for a second. Let's start off with us, and then we'll go to the interview. Ready?
Us.
Start off with us, and then bring them in. Ready? Okay.
Fun.
Count me down, Seth.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Go.
Welcome to Entertaining Strangers. Right now, my name is Vincent Gord. This is my daughter, Zoe Gord, and we have the privilege of talking to some members of the cast of an amazing brand new show that's on Netflix right now called
Julie and the Phantoms. Tell your friends.
Really quickly, we want to bring in 2 of the main characters who we have the privilege of being able to talk to really quickly. Let's talk to really quickly. Seth, can we bring them in? Owen and Jeremy. Here we go. Yep.
Hello.
Hey!
And first of all, guys, thank you so much for being with us. We truly appreciate you making this time really intentional.
Of course.
So I know Zoe's got a bunch of questions. I've got a bunch of questions. We've been part of our father-daughter time has been over the years, her picking out shows for me to watch with her, no matter what, for me to watch with her. And over the years, it has been High School Musical. It is what else?
Great
Cheetah
choices.
Girls,
Cheetah Girls.
Descendants, and now
Nice.
Julie and the Phantoms.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You're on a Kenny kick. You're watching all the Kenny stuff.
Which brings me to my first question. With the body of work that Kenny Ortega has put together, what was it like working with such a dynamic director, and then also knowing that you're a part of a brand new genre? Well, I don't want to say genre, but a brand new era of teen music that is infectious, that will not go away.
It's so crazy. I mean, I think it's crazy twofold. A, because Kenny is one of these people that is such a legend through just who he's worked with over the long span of his career and what he's done. So many awesome projects, and with that type of person, like you first meet them and you're kind of like you're a little intimidated because you're like, oh my gosh, this is Kenny Ortega. But he's the most humble, disarming, like down to earth person, and he always just makes you feel comfortable. And we really are partners. He makes you feel like a collaborator, and he's just the nicest guy in the whole world. I love it, and he really has this just childlike energy inside that really just, I think, exudes to everyone. Like everyone on set wants to do 100% better because Kenny is just so fun. And it's just crazy. I mean, growing up, like I watched High School Musical and it was like the biggest thing, like everyone knew what it was. And so to be, I guess, in a show that's like, our generation's version of that is like, it's just so bonkers. It's so surreal.
Yeah.
I think something really cool too is, Kenny is what, 70 years old, and they just called him the Teen Whisperer, and it's so true. I mean, for this guy to come out with a series in children and family, and you can see his music evolving, you can see that he's still, in touch with what kids want to see, and he's also doing, he's doing things in TV shows now, like with Julie and the Phantoms, that kids didn't know they wanted to see. Mm-hmm. So, and I think that's the magic that he has.
Yes.
The power of just knowing how the formula that he has dialed in, that he has, it's dynamic. It's so powerful to watch, and to watch the chemistry on screen. While we were watching, I was telling Zoe at first when it first came on, I was like, Zoe, is this another Disney show? Are you roping me in? And but I realize now, understand now the backstory, how powerful this formula is, and to know that you guys, I mean, when you came together, and I was looking at some of the conversations and interviews you'd done previously about your auditions and getting prepared. How did you feel when you read about these parts and what it like? Were you immediately connected to the character, or was it something that you were feeling like it might have been a stretch?
I would say it's one of those weird circumstances where you audition for a lot of things, and I think in a lot of roles you kind of put a certain amount of yourself into them no matter what. But like all of us actually play our instruments and actually sing, and so it was one of those rare things where it was like I get an audition, and a lot of times auditions will be for like singers that also play like full guitar, not like bass. And I play bass and sing in real life, and so that was so cool. I was like, oh, the character's like just strictly like a bass player that can sing, and I was like, I do that. That's second nature. Like, that's so cool. And then it was like kind of comedic, and he was kind of goofy. And if anybody knows me, I'm the biggest dork in the whole world in real life. And so I was like, I think I can do this. I think I can be a dork who plays bass, sings, and it was like perfect. And I think that's what Kenny's so great at, is he finds people that really just fit the role. Like, they don't even, you're always going to change certain little things because it's a character and it's not fully you, but like he finds people that are almost already that to begin with, and it just makes it so much easier on set.
Oh, and I'm a drummer, and so
I
heard a little bit about you being this amazing percussionist, also an amazing singer. So again, for you, was this part a stretch, or was this like a shoe fit, like an easy slide for you?
Well, I mean, just with drumming, I used to have, I started drumming when I was, I think, 10, and then I drummed until I was 13. And then that's when I started doing a lot of film and like TV work. So, I moved out to LA from Oklahoma, and I couldn't bring I had like this really cool, like 5-tom Mapex kit that I was blessed to have at like 12. And, I had to leave it behind, so I didn't get to play. And then, it was actually, and regarding the audition, my show was just canceled at Nickelodeon. And it was like that weird time where all my friends were kind of going to college. And I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, like I have to book something this pilot season. If I'm really going to prove to people that, you know, I'm an adult now, but I can be an actor. And it was a pilot season full of anxiety and audition after audition and throwing up. And then Dan and Dave called me, they sent me this audition, and it was almost like a little perfect package. It was like, I read it and I was like, are you joking me? Like, this guy is singing, he's drumming, and he's got sarcasm. It was me, you know? So it was just, it was amazing. I just went in and I honestly, I was myself. I just put myself in that sarcasm, and I think I found like a little niche that luckily they were looking for.
Awesome.
Okay.
Go.
Okay, so I have a question. So Reggie is the only person that has not found his special someone, other than flirting with almost everyone.
That's true. It's true
Well-
fact.
How would you? So, do you think that Reggie would find this special someone in more seasons?
Gosh, I hope so. You know, I think he has such a big heart. It's so funny. He is, I think, genuinely like the most flirty, but is the most by far single. out of all of them.
You know what's funny that I never realized? Like, yeah, okay, you in real life, you are married, and
Yeah.
Charlie and I are
Right.
alone. That's what's incredible.
It is pretty funny to me. Yeah, it's the irony is not lost on me. And he's also like, Reggie's so flirty, but I mean, like I am with my lovely wife, but like in real, I was never that way. Like I was always like awkward and kind of dorky, and I think it usually people liked me because they laughed at the fact that I was a dork, and that kind of worked. I was not smooth, although I guess Reggie's not really smooth either. I think he will. I think if we get if we get a couple more seasons, I think that maybe Reggie can find some romance. I would assume it would have to be with like a ghost or something, because I mean, you can't like interact with people. I mean, we don't have that connection besides Julie, and that's kind of Julie Luke type thing going on. So
Yeah.
I guess it has to be a ghost. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, ghost groupies. It's gonna be ghost groupies. Yeah, that's what it's gonna be.
Cast expanding already.
Yeah.
Jeremy, really quickly before, because I know Zoe has a question for you on also, but Jeremy, kind of segueing off of the point of you being the only one married, and congratulations to you being married to Carolyn.
Thank you.
And we know about Finn and Jake. So I personally am also a big fan of animation, and so I love the idea that the majority of your work or your body of work is stuff that has been off screen, voiceover work, which my son is really interested in.
Totally.
What was the biggest contrast between doing voiceover and doing this live action?
That's a great question. It's so interesting. It's one of those things where they are so much the same thing. It's all different forms of acting, but I think the biggest difference is with voiceover, you're really conveying all of the emotion and everything that's happening with the character in the scene through just how you speak a line. And it makes you really conscious of tone, of your voice. And I think part of that also comes in with being a singer, because you kind of have to be on pitch, obviously, at times, and you kind of understand that cadence. And so it works with that. But it is hard. I mean, it's just different. When you're on camera, you have so many more tools to kind of show off a character's emotions. There's very like small, little minute changes in your facial expression. And that kind of big, broad physical comedy, which I love doing. I mean, there's like the moments where we're in Julie's bedroom and her dad walks in, and I do like a backward somersault over the beanbag chair for basically no reason. Like I love that type of stuff. So I think that's the fun part. It's kind of one of those things where it's the same thing, but you're just kind of being more specific in one's voice, and you're just really intentionally figuring out how this is translated through just how you're speaking a line. And the other is a lot more work, and is a lot like, you're there shooting 16 hours a day instead of doing a 2-hour record session. But you have a lot more tools kind of in your actor's tool belt. Plus, when you're doing a voiceover, you could show up in your pajamas, which is pretty awesome. There's no specific dress code, which that is a benefit for VO.
Owen, I have a question for you. So, what advice would you give to just anyone that is aspiring to be an actress or an actor?
It's a good question, because I bet I asked a million actors that, and I never got an answer, because the scary truth is that no one really knows what they're doing, and no one really knows how to make it. But if you know that you love it and your heart's really in it, and your heart really has to be in it, because you got to dedicate everything to it. You got to practice. You got to learn your lines. You got to put a lot of time into your self-tapes and your auditions, and you know, don't stress out too much about your agents and your managers and stuff. You know, especially starting out, if you're going to get the same auditions that most kids are going to get. So just really put all your work into your auditions, your craft, and who you are, and just keep going. It's just going and going and going. You know, I'm doing 200 auditions for a pilot season before I got this. So it's just a lot of, you got to have a lot of stamina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's that definite endurance to be like, you know, you're going to go out on a lot of things and just not get them. I mean, I started acting at like 6 years old. You know, I've probably gone out on easily upwards of 1,000 auditions, and obviously you don't get most of those. And I think the biggest thing for me is just remembering that everything happens when it's supposed to in its time. You know, there's a lot of things that you go out on, you don't get for whatever reason. And so much of it is not in your control. You know, it's like, that you look too much like this person, or maybe like they just thought you didn't have a certain personality cue they want. Like there's so many things that you have no control over. You really just have control over your audition. And then I'm a firm believer that you're going to get the projects you're meant to get, and you're not going to get the ones that you're not meant to get. And ultimately, every project that I have gotten has been such a blessing and so fun, and I've made lifelong friends and really family. I mean, this one definitely being an example of that. So I think,
and you can't hold anything too. Like if you go out on audition and you go all the way to, you know, if you're seeing producers, or you go all the way to network, you can't hold it against yourself, because I mean, I've had a casting agent tell me they didn't like the way I blinked. So it's not in your control. It's usually not your acting. It's sadly, it's usually your look. So, you know, they want some guy with brown hair instead of blonde. You're out. It doesn't matter how good you are. So
dude,
just keep faith in yourself.
I had a casting agent one time, literally tell me that my voice was annoying. I was in an audition, and I started the lines. I was maybe two lines into the scene, and the lady goes, "Okay, just stop." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what did I do?" and she was like, "There's this tone and cadence, almost sing-songy, I don't know, to your voice that's just really annoying." And I was like, okay, is there a like, what do you want me to do? And she was like, "Can you just try it again and just do it different?" And I was just like,
try to get it not be you.
Dude, this is so funny. This is so funny because it's gonna happen to everybody acting. Real quick, I went out for one, and what did they say? Oh, it was after I had done 3 shows for Nickelodeon, and 2 of them were multicam. 2 of them were multicam shows, so that was like on a stage. And I went out for a multicam project, and I did the whole thing, and then the casting director looked at me and said, "Have you ever acted before?" And I said, "No, I have not." And I gave her the script and I left. And
That's so funny because I guess right now, all of those casting directors and all the people who say no to you are probably watching right now saying,
maybe. Yeah.
So, Owen, you had the opportunity, and you referenced it a little earlier, talking about some of the other shows that you were on, and I think it was really cool for you to kind of revisit a friendship, being on this show with Savannah Mae. How was that?
Yeah,
reconnected with her after Night Shift.
I mean, it was the best. It was the coolest, because I mean, that's what you want, right? Like, but once you're done with a project, your best friends from that project, you want to just grab them and take them to the next one. So, you know, she sent in her audition, and like I mean, she didn't need. I remember just like walking by Kenny's laptop, and they clicked on it. It was Savannah, and I like kind of like I pooped myself, but I kind of hit it, and I was like, I looked at the screen and I was like, oh, who's that? And I was like, oh, that's my friend Savannah. And then I went on. I remember going on her Instagram and I just tried to gas her up as much as I could, but she didn't need it at all. I mean, Kenny said the first audition, he knew like that was her. You know what I mean? She's so talented. She can dance like crazy. It was hers from the start. But no, it's been an absolute blast filming with her. It's been the best.
Knowing that now, I can see the whole. Especially in the scenes where you were mocking her as a ghost while she's dancing. I can see the chemistry of the friendship now because I'm like, oh, there's really history there. So even though she can't see you in the show, I can only imagine what that was like while you were shooting and her trying to hold back, trying to stay in character while you're
trying not to laugh.
I'm not. Yeah. I don't like dancing. I don't think I'm a good dancer. I don't enjoy dancing. So Kenny came to me the first day, and I was excited because this had drumming, acting, comedy, and singing. Perfect. 4 I love. And then he was like, "You on stage with Savannah. You're in a Dirty Candy number." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, and number one rule with working with Kenny Ortega, you do not say the word no. So if he tells you something, you'll be like, "Okay." Try to figure it out later. And it always ends up working out. Exactly. It was a blast.
Go Zoe.
So I have one more question. I see the connection you all have. Is this just an on-screen thing, or are you all really Julie and the Phantoms?
It's fake. It's all fake. We're actors, and that's what we're supposed to be. No, Gary, you want to answer this one?
Yeah, it is one of those weird things where you start working on something, and you know that you're going to be spending like basically all day, every day with this group of people for, at least if you're doing one season, like 6 months basically, and then potentially for the course of many years, if you end up getting more seasons and so on and so forth. And with a show like this, where it's supposed to be a band, and potentially, if it's successful and when it's safe, we would all love to go on tour. So knowing that, you're kind of like, gosh, I really hope I like these people, And I will say, like, even just from the first couple days of our chemistry reads and our mix and match and test, and then when we got it, and we had like 2 months of like a band boot camp before we started shooting, where we were just learning instruments and literally becoming a band and just working on the songs and everything. We all clicked and got close so fast because everyone's just super down to earth. Everybody's really talented. Charlie and Owen are just like my brothers at this point. We get along so well. Maddie's like my little sister. We love watching animation. The first day that I walked into the test, actually, Maddie was like, "Oh my God, it's Lance from Voltron." She was like a big Voltron and Adventure Time fan. So we hit it off over that. And even like Boo Boo and Savannah and Tori and Sasha and Jada, who's just the cutest, and it's her Jada and Maddie are like twins. It's so funny. Like on set, like the first day that they were hanging out, because they'd actually both put the roles. They came in, and you would have swear that they were best friends for like 10 years. And it's just so funny. Like, that's what makes this type of show so fun. And I think that's why the finished product looks so great. It's because like most of that chemistry is just there. And even you wouldn't think after spending like 16 hours a day shooting with someone that you want to spend more time with them. But like half the time after a set, we'd be like, all right, you guys want to hang out and play video games and get food? And like that's what we were doing most of the time. So
Kenny, I think it boils down to Kenny. Kenny's not only an amazing director and the kindest director, he's also just a really kind person, caring person. So, I don't think he settles for anything less when he looks at people that he's going to be working with. And he just surrounds himself with great people. So, and I got the chance to hang out with those people too. So
I invited Owen and Charlie to my wedding after only had been worked with them for like probably less than a month. So that was a big, that was like, wow, I think these guys are cool. I really hope that stays, because I just invited
them. And it was a mistake. Yeah, we ruined it. Yeah, we objected pretty quickly. Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
So with the dynamic and the chemistry between the show and just how it flowed, I realized that there are lots of twists and turns in the show. Mm-hmm. It was written really well for me. I really enjoyed it. So I know, of course, we can't do spoilers for we want people to watch it. But what would be if you could add a cast member or a character to the next season, who would it be and why?
I would add everybody's got a boss, right? Everybody's got a leader, and I would like to see Cheyenne Jackson's leader, and I think it should be also Caleb Covington. I think it would be the coolest thing to see. So I mean, he's so powerful that to have like a more powerful person on top of that, maybe like Neil Patrick Harris would be kind of cool. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, Neil Patrick Harris would be pretty cool.
He just got some other
Wait, you were about to say something. What was that?
He had some light bulb.
It was a light bulb, but I can't say.
Oh, okay.
That's hard. There's so many people. I would love if we could have like a cameo from like any High School Musical alum, that would be pretty awesome. Or I mean, there's other like somebody who. Tori actually mentioned this person the other day that would be super cool. Jordan Fisher, who's like super good dancer, super good singer. Is like either I don't know, like I mean, obviously if you're gonna cast someone like that, you want them to have a role that actually is performing. So if there's like some rival artist or like some other ghost or something, that'd be cool.
It'd be really cool. So if Willie has maybe left Caleb behind, Caleb needs a new little henchman. Jordan Fisher was his new little henchman. That would be pretty cool.
Hey,
that'd be pretty cool. Plot twist. We're writing season 2 right now. Don't worry.
Well, speaking of writing, that's another great point. So, and you we referenced it a little earlier, Jeremy, about Bandcamp and you guys being able to write music. How powerful was it for you guys to not just have the time to kind of perfect your craft as a band together, but also to begin to the writing process for producing and creating original music that also got included in the show and that could be included in the next season? What is that like? Just as an idea, just to know that the creative process wasn't just you producing these characters through your presentation, but rather you actually depositing or creating things that could be added.
It is such a blessing. I mean, like most of the time with any show, you're probably never going to have that much in the kind of creating stuff department usually, especially not like on your first go round, especially not on like a season 1. So the fact that like we had a couple brief ideas that kind of made it into the show as far as like, Charlie and Maddie and I did a little bit on that, but that's mostly just the two of them with Perfect Harmony, which is so cool that they were able to do that for the first season. And we kind of all messed around a little bit on like the kind of beach band jam. And then just for fun, we were like writing stuff between takes, just to kind of, I guess, be in character that we could write music together. And then they recently have given us just this really awesome opportunity. If we get a second season, they were just having us kind of start doing a little like kind of songwriting camp that we've been doing virtually through Zoom and everything. And so we have some really cool demos that hopefully, if the show goes forward, I think have a pretty good chance of making to the show, which is so cool. And I think that's part of us being not just actors playing a band, but the fact that they really want us to be a band, to not only sing it, but to be able to write some of the music and co-write it, and then be able to perform those, which is it's so cool. It's so cool. I would have never expected that to have been something that we were able to do, but I'm glad they trusted a few of us to do that, which is so cool.
Well, I know that our time is almost up, but I really just wanted to say specifically because we're going to play now. Sorry, we're going to play
Bright.
No, not Bright. We're going to play Now or Never. Right.
Now or Never.
Yes.
Nice.
So, and Now or Never, right before we go, I'd love for you to just to kind of give us a little bit of feedback on that experience, because again, leading into the show, that is that first time that we see Sunset, and I just really want to make sure that people can be able to get the opportunity to really know what it felt like for you guys to be able to present that.
Well, I think so. I mean, when we heard Now or Never, it was kind of the thing that kind of like drove us into our initial reactions of who Sunset Curve was and our characters, and it was kind of what we listened to be like, okay, this is what this band was. This is what they wanted to be in '95. And it's kind of a modern sound, not too modern, but it was kind of like a modern, it was almost like a 5 Seconds of Summer kind of sound. So it was kind of fun to be like, okay, well, they were maybe a little bit ahead of their times of what a boy band was. And I think it really kind of set us up to who we were as like musicians and rockers, but to also see, where the music started and what Julie brought in to our sound to create what Julie and the Phantoms is, and kind of that newer sound that you hear. But I think you can kind of hear the blend between the two, and it's kind of cool that we set it up with Now or Never. I think it's an important song so people kind of understand where most of Julie and the Phantoms kind of originated from.
100%. Yeah, I feel like it really kicks off the show with just a lot of kind of high energy and like a literal like rock song, which is cool because that's what these guys would have been doing in the 90s. And we shot that for like, I don't know, 15 hours. We did probably, I don't even know how many takes of it. And after we were doing it for real. I was in leather jacket, these super bright lights on. It was hot, and
the lights were they weren't allowed to use LEDs. They had to use the actual lights that would be used in '95. And I was like, I don't care. They were so hot. Sorry, Jarek.
Oh, you're good. No, that actually adds to it because literally our first take, they had put like fake sweat on us because they wanted to seem like this is the end of our like full rehearsal of our set. And I remember after the first take, we were drenched in sweat, and Kenny comes up and he was like, "Hey, to the hair and makeup team, he goes, can you guys take down their fake sweat a little bit? It looks like a little bit much." And they were like, "We have not touched them. That's just all of what it is." He was like, "Okay, leave it."
Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for giving us this moment, and we totally appreciate you sharing your time and making this really important for all of our entertaining strangers, watchers, and viewers. So before we go, just again, thank you so much. And Zoe, what's the 3 words?
Tell your friends.
Yeah,
friends.
About Zoe.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Zoe, it was nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you so much.
I'll get to talk to you soon.
All right. Okay. Let's see who else is in the studio. All right. Check the time signature. So 3:22. Pay attention to the time signature so we can be able to do 3:20. We want to cut like right at 3:20, and then that'll be the marker for Mr. Kenny, so he can be able to cut that and splice in the next one. So and just leave it recorded, and then he can just cut and
have a chat.
The next part.
32 minutes.
We have a chat. So what's going on in the chat?
I think. All right. They're running.
Okay, cool.
Well, that worked out great.
Well, thank you, Brittany. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Oof.
Let me stretch.
All right. That was great. Good job, everyone.
I'm also hot now.
Good job, everyone. Zoe, please look at the camera. Hey, because when you were reading your so like what else?
Studio audience, are y'all okay over there?
Glad you're loving it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So I originally planned for Zoe to just have a rapid fire session.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that with Charlie.
Let's just go with the current template. We'll go with the format because we didn't set up the second camera, so it would be just you. So
You did good.
Thanks.
Okay. When you do did the mic pick up the snapping?
Yes, it did. Yes, we. So I try to make sure I include it at the end,
Aw,
so that
thank you.
so that at least Kenny can maybe kind of flow that in there. Sorry, try to do it in the middle.
I don't know. She said I'm such a natural. Thank you. Hush, hush, hush.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you very much. Can I take off this jacket?
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. How you doing?
Hi,
Great.
Charlie. How you doing? Uh-oh. Can you hear us?
Doing really good. I'm sorry I'm late. We were just in another one. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being late. Actually, I'm gonna take out my headphones. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you better. Cool. Yeah,
Awesome.
how y'all doing?
We're
Awesome,
great. How are
awesome.
you?
So I'm Vincent. This is my daughter Zoe.
Hi.
And Charlie, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Part of the reason that we even know about you right now is because my daughter makes me watch our father-daughter time consists of her picking out something and me enjoying it with her, enjoying it. And so this one was a show that I actually really did enjoy. So super cool. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Zoe, what was your favorite song?
Flying Solo. That has
Flying
to be my favorite.
Solo. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a fun one.
That
That's really fun. You know, fun fact, Flying Solo, we ended up hey Mads. But I was
Hey,
just saying,
Madison, how you doing?
It was good. How are
Flying
you
Solo, we
guys?
ended up having like a recorded one of the last scenes that Jada filmed. The last scene Jada filmed was part of Flying Solo too, and it was like one of the first numbers we filmed too. I think it was Mads, the second number that we filmed.
What? Flying Solo?
Yeah.
I think that was the first number that we filmed, and then the next one was like the first band song with the crowd was Bright.
Wait a second. We don't know. We filmed Bright. Our first band one was. I'm sorry. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Anyways,
Flying Solo was the first
we'll have
one
this
we
debate
did.
later.
Okay.
So I tell you what, here's what we're gonna do. And Charlie, we're gonna add your full name in so that people can be able to see that. And Seth will, he'll bring it in and out. Don't worry about it. He's got it. So we're gonna start it off so we can be able to have a clean intro for you guys. But first of all, before we go get really deep, thank you so much for being with us. Hopefully this will be a fun interview and you guys will enjoy your time and we'll enjoy it and this will be great. But again, we really appreciate it on behalf of Entertaining Strangers and the whole staff behind the show. They've trusted us with making sure we take care of you guys. So hopefully we'll do that. All right. So we're going to start off and then we're going to bring you guys in. Okay. Ready?
All right.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
Count us down, Seth.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Entertaining Strangers. My name is Vincent. This is my daughter Zoe. And
Hi.
we have had the privilege of sharing right now about an amazing brand new show that is currently streaming on Netflix called
Julie and the Phantoms. Tell your friends.
And so right now we are here with some of the lead characters of the show. We have the opportunity to entertain the strangers of Madison Reyes and Charlie Gillespie. So let's bring them in really quickly. Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey. We're doing great. Zoe, I was just noticing.
May I just say,
love
I'm
the
loving your
earrings.
outfit, Zoe.
Yeah.
Yes, everything. I love it.
And this is how we will segue into our interview. First question. As a fashionista myself, I love looking at Julie and Flynn's outfits. If you could take home any outfit from the show, which one would you take home and why?
The jacket. I would take the jacket home. That was, I think I had the most creative freedom with helping Soyeon come up with that. It was originally going to be a dress, actually. But I'm really small, and the dress kind of like was really big on me. So she was already talking about how she was gonna have to like basically like destroy the dress and recreate it so it could fit me properly. And I was just like, why don't we just make it a jacket? Because I love being able to turn things into something that I could enjoy. And I figured that a leather jacket would definitely be Julie's thing, especially with us playing with that whole aspect that she likes wearing her mom's old clothing. So it was a lot of fun being able to kind of like add that little, piece of clothing. So
I think that's cool, because my question after Zoe's was going to be exactly how much of the costume design for you guys did you have the opportunity to influence or be a part of, or was it already presented? Because I realized that there's some things that are already set up, but then with this show, it seems like that you guys got so much opportunity to be able to have input and to really help to shape how the product came out. Just from watching and listening to some of the other interviews that you all have done, I realized that you guys had a really great hand in helping to shape what the fingerprint of Julie and the Phantoms looks like for us.
As in making the song Perfect Harmony.
As in perfect harmony.
Yeah.
yes.
Boy, you go straight for it, kid. So
Well,
let's talk about that.
Well, it runs down to the team that we have. Like, they let us suggest so many things, and those ideas can always be like turned down or whatever, but we had reasoning behind why we were suggesting, and so they loved it and they would run with it. Soyan, our costume designer, with the clothes, she really saw something in our auditions where I had the cutoffs and Jer had the leather jacket and no one had the pink hoodie, and Maddie, it's like all these things kind of like came together, and then she she ran with so much and found all these beautiful articles, but and it came in like Maddie having the input with the jacket and all that kind of jazz, right? And then the song, the song, oh my.
Oh no.
Oh.
That we had
I'll continue.
He's back. Let's see.
Oh, did it cut out?
Yeah, you froze for a second.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
My Wi-Fi sucks. but it's like with the song, we there was an opportunity, and we worked so hard becoming a band, and we really started feeling like a band. So we wanted to have so much more input in music, and then we wrote this thing, we pitched it, and next thing you know, we're recording it in Bryan Adams' studio, and it was a wild journey for both of us, and a secret too that we were able to like share with just the other bandmates for like a little while. So it was wicked.
It's really cool. Specifically when hear the story about how you all presented it to Kenny Ortega, the director, who is responsible for so many amazing staples of entertainment, like
Cheetah Girls, High School Musical, Descendants, and now Julie and the Phantoms. Tell your friends.
Love it.
which she's made me watch all of them, and so I think it's amazing that you all. How do you all feel about, first of all, working with Kenny, and then second of all, being able to mark an era, because there was, the High School Musical era, there was the Descendants era, which is kind of still, but right now I feel like almost you all have surpassed and trumped them all.
Yes.
Right. I mean, it's crazy. I grew up with High School Musical, and my younger sister is growing up with Descendants and now Julie and the Phantoms. And that highly influenced my life and what I wanted to do growing up and what I wanted to be. And, like seeing Vanessa and seeing that kind of like fantasy world of being in high school and being able to sing and stuff was something that I wanted to do in the acting world, and to also become like a performer and a singer. So it's crazy that I get to work with Kenny, who has influenced so many people already throughout his career, and the fact that now I get to be part of his legacy is insane, and I'm super grateful that I get to be a part of it.
And like you talk about the other musicals, and at the end of the day, I think so many people love hearing stories through music, and you can you're not just like showing people how you feel, you're like playing for them how you feel. You got these songs that can just totally represent an emotion and a storyline, and being able to do that too. I think that's what a lot of people connect with, right?
So one of the songs that we're going to play in the show today is Bright, and
Mhm.
so and I know that Perfect Harmony is right now charting, and it's one of the ones that you all had the opportunity to create. But give us a little bit about the feeling of Bright, and just when you watch it in the show, and how it makes you feel, and when you look at it now after having what, almost a year and of taping, preparing, and then once it goes live, what's it like when the whole world reacts to what you've been sitting on for a year?
It was the first song. It
It's
was
insane.
what
It's
we
insane.
started off with. Like that. Bright was the song that, like, when we did the first real auditions with like everybody involved. It was Bright, and so like even rehearsing it for the first time after like doing auditions, because we didn't really rehearse, we just kind of all learned it, played it, and then went. But like for afterwards, we actually got to rehearse, then we got to play for people, and that was the first song we got to play in front of a crowd. That's
I mean,
Um,
you always kind of wish that would be like good, like at least you don't want to sort of like, oh, this is amazing. Like you don't want to kind of like feed into the like kind of like let it go to your head. But when you get these certain things in life, when you kind of just feel like right, you kind of just know, and being able to see all the fans and making the Brazilian fans as well happy with something that they grew up with and now they get to love all over again was something that was very important to me as well, just making sure that I played that character right and that we brought that kind of special touch that Julie and the Phantoms already had in the original show to this show. So we're super grateful to the Brazilian fans and just all the fans as well for the support that they've given us, and for being so amazing and talented as well with the art that they create and the edits and all the things that they do is insane, and we can't thank them enough for better fans.
And I know for a fact that Charlie, you are probably one of the ones who stays in the fandom world with social media, keeping track of all of the amazing covers and arts and the things that get produced out of the fandom. And I think it's really cool that you all have had this great opportunity to reach so many people. Is it a burden, or is it a blessing to be able to know that you have this great amount of people that are captive as your audience, that you have this great responsibility as an influencer and as a presenter, as a musician, as an artist?
a blessing. I mean, like, yeah, sometimes it gets a little hard because you want to answer everybody, and when everybody gives you so much energy and so much love, you just want to give it right back to them. You don't want to leave them standing, and so you try your best, but it's a blessing, man. They're the coolest people. They like the things that they do for us is ridiculous. It's beyond what we could have expected, and the way that they talk about the show and the way that they talk about, like, in some cases, like, it's helped people with getting over a loss, or having the conversation after a loss about getting back into the routine and trying to do things in life again. And I never realized how deep of a message that, like, the show kind of held until these people going through these situations started reaching out and being like, you guys did help. I listen to your music. It makes me feel a certain way,
I think that you touched on a great point. Madison, what were you going to say?
Oh yeah, I mean, me as a teenager as well, knowing how having that, I guess, that representation for me, which is the biggest thing that I kind of want to touch upon with my platform, and how important it is to have that diversity in movie and films now. Just knowing that I can kind of be that for somebody, which was something that I look for the most when I was younger, was my biggest dream. I never wanted the fame for like the money or just for the fame. I just wanted it to have a platform where my voice could be heard and I can help those people through those situations where they're kind of confused and wonder if they can do it because of their skin color or what their ethnicity is. So the fact that I get to do that with these fans who would reach out to be like, oh, your story has inspired me to push myself harder. That's what I wanted, and I'm very content and I'm very satisfied so far what I've done, and I just hope that I continue to be able to do that.
Hmm. And thank you, because you brought up a great point for between the both of you. Right now, I feel like the nation is suffering in some case, in some way, and we're all suffering some kind of grief, some kind of loss, whether it's loss of freedom, loss of employment for some people, loss of loved ones, and so this show, even though it is it's musical and it's upbeat and it's lighthearted, it does deal with some very serious uh, moments and some serious tones, specifically in dealing with grief and learning how to be able to navigate through that process, especially because right now, we can't grieve like we used to when we lose a loved one, or for that matter, in Luke's case in the show, just learning how precious time is and how not to waste those moments, because we're not really sure when we're going to see our loved one for the last time. And so when you see those themes being broadcast over the airways and how it's touching people and the responses that you're getting, what is it doing for you as an artist, and what does it do for you as just as an individual to know that you're part of a healing process for someone?
Right. I think that's what kind of drew me to the show to begin with, was that we kind of get to work what a kid's show has to be. And we get to do it in this way that brings light to it in a way that we can inspire those, like through music, and how music can heal people and also bring people together as it does for the band, and also how it can heal people when we see it when Julie goes to Luke's parents. So being able to kind of have those serious topics while still being able to have this kind of fun and bring light to it is what makes me enjoy the show so much, because I know I have so many friends who I've had personal connections with even before the show, that I knew they were going through situations like that. So when I was given this opportunity to kind of go for this role, I knew that I can make a difference in somebody's life and kind of bring light to those situations. I kept them in mind, and everybody else who might be going through those situations as well. So it's so great. It's so great. And the writers did such a great job at, portraying that and doing it in a way that I've never seen before. And the fact that we get to be a part of it is so amazing.
So Zoe's got some more questions.
Okay. So I see the connection you all have in the show, and also during these interviews, how you guys just can piggyback off of anything.
Right.
So is this just something that you guys do, or is it something real?
Oh yeah. I mean, me and Charlie and the guys, we're best of buds. It's honestly, the fact that we can keep it so like down is amazing, because when we're together, it's like it's up here.
Yeah.
So the fact that we can like keep it this down in interviews is very amazing, because I know
we get
how
told
good it can be.
though, like Maddie's being generous by saying that we can keep it down. We get told like you guys gotta, but no, we love we love bouncing with each other, and I think that's something that really sparked our friendship, was that everybody had the guts to like, hey, let's try to do some stuff, let's try to like let's mess around in this scene, let's have some fun. And that's the whole thing. And our writers and our Kenny and our producers, everyone was actually really game for us doing that, because that's where a lot of these moments, a lot of my favorite moments were just moments that we were literally having, we were just messing around, and it get put into the show. And
Oh, Kenny did a very good job at casting us, basically.
It cut out.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, well, like Owen says it in a way. He's like, like, because we were tight when we were auditioning, but I didn't know we were going to be this close. But he's like, no, I could see it in the way you guys were interacting, in the way you guys were like almost creating in the audition, and doing these like unique little things in between you folks. And he's like, I felt like I had a feeling that you guys were going to continue doing this. And he always tries to find people who's going to work with instead of people who are going to work for him, and that was, even that like is a blessing in itself. So so we're really happy that we all met each other and got to do this like fun little thing.
So, how amped are you guys about the possibility of doing a Julie and the Phantoms tour so you can be able to go city to city and touch and feel the people, of course, with social
Can we have
distancing
Zoe?
included?
Zoe, would you like to come see us on tour?
I have my ticket.
Oh, there you go.
It's pre-made.
There
Done.
literally
We'll have to
is
get you, like,
a piece
an
of paper
honorary, like,
with glitter all over
Julie
it.
and the-
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's upstairs. I can tell you that.
Oh, for real?
Great.
I'm
So
not
excited.
Well,
This
we
was-
just hope that, you know, that's that at the end of the day, it's people like Zoe and, you know, and like you, Vince, too, who if you know, if a lot of people want the tour, that we'll end up doing it. We really, and like, if not, we're gonna do stuff live anyways. We want to do that no matter what, but it's pretty fun. It's pretty cool.
So I love the fact that you guys actually play and sing, and that these aren't parts that you had to actually study for. I understand that you guys had the band camp and you were preparing, but what was it like to? Because it almost seems like these characters were specifically written for you. It's almost like they were tailor-made for you. It's almost like Madison, you're playing your life. You know, when you we hear the story about, you know, you normally being home with your dad and your mom being out in the military, and so when we watch you know, Julie's story and then Charlie knowing that you are a part of you know, the Gillespie Five, and then watching you in this, it's amazing to see how you guys, it's almost like these characters were written for you. How do you feel about that? And was it a stretch for you to have to act the part, or was it just an easy fit?
It was just us. I think that's what's so great about it, is that I know that all of our characters are just us. We get to actually be Julie and the Phantoms without having to make it, you know, just a character that we're playing. We get to be real people that people can connect to, you know?
And I find, like, now we're still playing characters and those kind of things. So we get to have a little magical fun, and we get to be these rockers from the 90s and you know, so, like, you know, but we get to be shining through these characters with that, which is pretty wicked. And like you said, like, we all played our instruments beforehand, so when it came to the boot camp, it was just making sure that our sound intertwined, you know, because we all intertwine each other with our instruments and our voices. And now it's just like, you know, let's just make it the best that we can be, and wait for season 2. You know, if we get that, because there's gonna be some more intertwining.
Right.
Person to watch.
Wait. So was that an official? There is a season 2?
No.
Is that? Did you just drop a little something right there for us?
Wait
till
season
season 2.
Oh, wait,
I mean,
I thought you were giving us an exclusive. I was super excited.
Yeah, I wish.
You heard it here first. Any
Okay.
strangers?
Yeah. Okay.
That's awesome. Zoe has another question that she's
Okay.
pitching you about. So go.
This was actually one of the first questions I wrote. So I totally ship Julie and Luke. It is like a match made in heaven. It is amazing.
Oh,
Literally.
It is hysterical to see when Luke decides to go and visit Julie in school, when he's like, "Oh, so you're gonna take a phone call in the middle of our conversation?" Okay.
Probably with the phone call, so she's not talking to herself.
Yeah. So I don't want people to think I'm talking to myself. Oh, right. And it just feels like you guys are just perfect for just. I can't even explain how much it feels like it's just you.
Thank you.
So, what would you guys think about in a new season that they eventually became a couple?
Well, you know, I think especially now, what's good about Julie and Luke's relationship is it kind of like shows young girls and young boys that it's okay not to like instantly get into a relationship with a person. It's okay to be friends, just really close friends, you know? And that's what's cool about Julie and Luke's relationship, is that, you know, you can see that there's something there, but they don't rush it. It's not like they're instantly like, oh my gosh, like, you know, but they're like, you know, let's just go with it, because they still have that, you know, he's a ghost, she's a human, it wouldn't really work out, but they still, well, at least Julie still cares about him more than what may be on the outside. She truly does care about him for his soul. So I think that's really good for young people to know now, especially me as well, that you shouldn't rush into things. You know, you can still take your time and just enjoy the friendship.
Mhm.
But we're Team Juke, so either way,
Yeah, we're Team
we
Juke.
want what the fans want.
Well, I appreciate the fact that you did bring out the point that it helps that they're taking their time, because Dad, who has to participate, who's also from the 90s, I like the idea of it also giving some boundaries, but also making it exciting. And then we also have that whole cliffhanger at the end of the season, which is all
That
dun
was-
dun dun.
But it's also like I love like what you guys are saying about the waiting and stuff. You know, I feel like, why are you in a relationship? Why do you want to be like this? And what's really pulling you guys together? You know, is it just a quick little thing, or is it something that actually means something way down to like the heart? You know, and I think it's a really good message to promote. And I wish I wish more people did that too. I mean, I was watching like Gilmore Girls the other day, and you know they do stuff like that. It's not so fast. It's not so, you know, busy all the time and always trying to just, you know, I don't know, do certain things that are just like, you know, quick thrills. It's like, you know, it's the more you settle into it, and it's really fun too, because me and Madison get to create and get to have fun with them being friends first, and it just, you know, it grows our friendship at the same time, right? Yeah. And but the dumb season 2, the Caleb stuff, that's about to get complicated.
Yeah. So Madison, I know that you are into anime and books, which is amazing, because that's both my son and my daughter at the same time. My son is all anime, my daughter is all about books. And then Charlie, you also are you're almost like an environmentalist, because I'm listening to what you're planning for in the Galapagos in December. Man, what are you excited about that, bro?
I'm insanely excited. We're going to be traveling down with our foundation, Mare Nostrum, to the Galapagos Islands, and we're going to be identifying shark nurseries where baby hammerhead sharks like to reproduce and lay their eggs. And so then that way there, we're going to be able to try to make those lanes a little more restricted so that people don't go and fish them, and they have the time, because they take 14 years to grow old, you know, and 14 years is a long time before you can reproduce. And so we're really, really excited. And the Galapagos on top of that, talk about a worldwide like phenomenon. You know, it's like, you know, there's animals out there, turtles the size of like a mini, you know what I mean? Like the BMW car, like like, you know, they're massive. It's like Jurassic Park. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When Charlie gets excited about things, that's like my favorite like part of him. It's just like you can just enjoy it. Like you might not know anything about it, but you're like, yeah, I want to do it too.
I want that.
I'm on board. I'll have what he's having.
Sold.
What is your latest anime and a book that you're currently in right now, Madison?
Oh, I'm actually reading The Color Purple, which is really interesting. And what was the last anime that I watched? Oh gosh, I watched so many. It's not even funny.
It's a Demon Slayers.
Oh yeah, Demon Slayer. I did finish that one.
She-Ra.
Oh yeah. Well, She-Ra. I don't know if you can consider
Which She-Ra? The remake or the original?
The remake.
Okay.
I've been wanting to sit down and watch all those old shows with my dad, but we've been so busy with everything. So we're just kind of like saving it for when we're out, if we get a second season. When we're out in Vancouver, that's how we bond over like watching old movies and stuff and shows. So that's what we're saving that for. But yeah, I guess you could consider She-Ra. Or No Game, No Life. That's like one of my top favorite animes. So yeah.
You lost me at
behind the camera
after that.
Yeah, that's
I don't know anime. Joey, what about you? Are you watching anything? You reading any books?
Julie and the Phantoms and Dork Diaries.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Wait.
And what?
And Dork Diaries.
Dork Diaries.
Oh,
cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I see those.
I'm not the biggest reader, so a lot of the things that I like to read, by the time that they turn it into a movie, it's like I've like watched I've read the books, but
Yeah.
it's not very interesting because I'm more of a see it. I don't really like to read it.
Right.
But reading it
Right.
gives you this thrill. Like it's pulls it out. Okay,
Do you
but
like
wait,
comics?
yeah.
Is that what
Yes.
you're really into? You should read Maximus Ride. James Patterson is my favorite author. I've started reading his Alex Cross books. And he writes Maximus
A comic
Ride.
book?
That was like, yes.
James Patterson wrote a comic book.
Yes.
Let me. It's a
What is
visual novel. It's a visual
This.
novel. He
Okay.
originally wrote books. There are books of Maximus Ride, but then he turned it into a visual novel. So it's more of like a comic. And that was like the first comic that I really got into. And then the craziest thing about that is I read that when I was in middle school, and then I found out that the books that I was reading today of Alex Cross was written by him too. So I have all of his books. I'm just like, what is going on here? You know?
Julian the Phantoms is going to be a book,
Yes, it needs
a
to.
visual novel.
Isn't it coming out on Scholastic for the behind the scenes?
I don't know, Zoe, do you know?
Remember.
I just want to say one thing. You guys give me total sister and brother vibes right now. Because what you just did to him, I would do that.
You do that to your brother?
I
All
do.
the time.
I just did it right then.
Okay. Well, listen, our time is up, but I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us right now for all of the Entertaining Strangers viewers. We truly appreciate you taking the time to be with us and to spend a few moments and just allowing us to be able to hear the inside of just where your heart is and just what it took to be able to bring Julie and the Phantoms to life. It's currently streaming right now on Netflix, and of course, the 3 words.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
All
Thank
right.
you guys so much. I hope we get to meet
You guys for
someday.
joining us.
Thank you so much for having us. You guys were so much fun. Thank you.
I feel like I've watched this show about 25
Oh
times.
my goodness. Goodbye, guys.
Us too.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Zoe. Bye, Vince.
Bye.
I don't know how I